my Trump flag. Like I do every election season. You know, it's got the American flag and Trump flag. Completely spaced 3 feet below the American flag as to code. Everything's perfect in code. Of course it is. And it had like 60,000 views. Liberals posted it on their page, and they have been melting down. Traitor, you're a traitor. I want to burn that thing down. Every election season. Hold on a second, I gotta switch the audio. Completely spaced 3 feet below the American flag as to code. Everything's perfect in code. Of course it is. And it had like 60,000. So it's all perfect to code anyway. And they're just like, traitor, I'm going to come to your house and burn that down. I said, dude, you can do anything you want on the last day of your life. Just with you. They're just like, dude, it's horrible. Like, you can ask Amy and crew. They've all been in it. And I have just been doing liberal kung fu for the entire weekend. And it's been glorious, dude. Just like, I miss this. Like, I missed having trolls because they just stopped coming around because they just...
They make things so much more fun, don't they?
They were just tired of getting beat up, I think. And then they're like, okay, well, you know what? This is the last straw. Let's go get this MAGA Nazi. And then they're like, whoops. So I've been slapping them around for... It's just been me versus the world. In fact, a lot of the dummies have stayed out of it. They're just like, Matt's got this. When it's like 40,000 to 1, we'll come in. Until then, let him handle it.
Isn't it glorious? Yeah, I occasionally troll some public pages, and it's amazing that like one person, someone like me, can go on and just wreck 50 different people simultaneously.
Oh yeah, I know. It's so great. Like this guy right here. This guy, he looks like. Let's see. What did you say? Oh, that's not the one. Where's the good one? I'll find him later. But this guy looked like Tom Petty. And I'm like, okay, Tom Petty's dad. He's like 65 and he's a lounge singer. And I'm like, why is it always failed musicians? And he comes in and he's like, oh yeah, well, it's better than your trailer. You know, talking about my house.
Did he think that one up all on his own?
Yeah. So I was like, oh wow, that's kind of good. So then I've got it right here. So then I open up his picture. Let me find this thing. It's actually quite funny. Here it is. This is good. I got to give myself props. So let's see how I got to get this thing. Come on, download. Open image, save the downloads. Here we go. Come on. All right. So just one. We're just gonna do one, just for the pre-show. Then we'll let this thing go. So this guy goes, and you can see there's Tom Petty's dad.
He does look like Tom Petty's dad.
He looks like Joe Walsh with good complexion. So he goes, must be a nice trailer is what he says. And I said, you sound jealous for a 65-year-old lounge singer. And then I said, when I peeped his picture, I said, 8-foot ceiling apartments with flimsy paneled cardboard doors brings me back to when I didn't have any money at 19. You can't compete. You're not going to, listen, I've been doing this for 4 years, and whatever inequity and gaps in my skill set that I possess, those days are long gone. You're not going to come in here and outwax intellect with me. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. I don't care who you are. You could be a professional troll. I'm better at this than you are. Stick your head in doo-doo. Nana, nana, boo-boo. I'm better than you do. All right. We'll be back in T-minus 13. We got everybody here. Olivia, tell them real quick what's wrong with you. Hurry up.
Oh, I'm sick.
Leeroy, tell them what's wrong with you.
I am also sick. Thank you for asking.
See you back in 3 minutes with the sickies. Leeroy, turn up your light again.
Touch it.
Littering and Littering and
Smoking the reefer.
Snozberries taste like snozberries. Who wants a mustache ride? I do.
It's not being so confused.
Violet, you're turning violet.
Like your mouth. Dumped on the lies on the evening news. We'll just stand right here.
Oh, yeah. Can I get a liter of cola?
We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, still agree me. 'Cause I'm everything you want. Damn, so what's your name? I won't tell no lies. Back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dog.
Howdy, y'all. This is Damani Felder. These are perilous times in American history, and now more than ever, we need individuals who are willing to wage war on the ideological battlefield with like-minded individuals. And I can think of no better place to start than my friends at the Don't Unfriend Me show. So thank you for being here, and enjoy the show.
Hey, Ryan.
What's going on, everybody? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. I am proud to announce that the Documents of Freedom are back in stock. It's a 3-book collection, leather-bound, by Arcadia Publishing. Starts out with the Bill of Rights, and it's the complete edition of the rights, so you can look up and reference anything your heart desires. Declaration of Independence, with revisions and founder images included, beautifully illustrated. And last but not least, what would Documents of Freedom be without the Constitution of the United States of America in its entirety? The box is handmade by PFC Flags, custom engraving, all 100% made in the USA from the nails to the glue. And we have a 5-star rating, satisfaction guaranteed, 150 sold, 5 stars or better. It is so important, especially in today's society, to ensure that the younger generation has these books available in the future. Get them for your family and friends, available right now. Head on over to thedumshow.com/books.
Knock it
Thanks so
off,
much.
Liv.
Sorry.
Hey, Liv, do we have someone to thank?
Yes, I gotta find the email. Hang on.
What?
I gotta find the email.
I'll just do it for you. Bob Furry.
Yeah.
Bob Furry, thanks so much for buying the
Documents of freedom, 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 freedom.
Freedom.
Adjusting transmitter output.
Improv
This
commercial.
is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Matthew Spear, Olivia Spear, Amy Spear, and Leeroy Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. Welcome, everyone. They are
We're
part
the
of
children. Amy and I are the children. So
That's
yeah.
right. They're the
Obviously.
step
We look
children.
so
to be-
much younger.
step children.
Well,
please.
Amy is the baby of the group, so
Yeah.
I'm the youngest. Right?
Well,
yes,
I thought
you
I
are.
was.
Yes.
no. Amy is the youngest. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I just
'cause
didn't think about that.
I'm so
But only by
old.
like 2 years.
Yeah, or something. No, I don't think it's that you look so
Liv.
old.
44.
Okay. So yeah,
You're-
2 years.
She looks like she's freaking 25. It's.
Were you born in
It does.
1980?
I was born in 1980.
I robbed the cradle. There's no doubt about it. There's no shame. There's no shame. I did. I saw her and I said, roofie, duct tape. That's the one I want.
Yeah.
And then I went to her
Yeah,
parents
honey,
and
does
I
this
got
smell like chloroform? Yeah.
right. I said, here's your bottle. Here's your bottle, honey.
goodness.
Never mind the chloroform smell. Just shh. It's all going to be okay. Listen, I want to give a shout out. A couple things, 2 things. One is to my trolls. Listen, I love you just as much as my non-trolls. I don't dislike any of you. When you get personal, I get personal. Like, I don't care that you live in an apartment. We lived in an apartment with 7.5 foot ceilings. Yeah, 7.5, which is like totally against code. Trust me, we know. Well, I used to walk in my bedroom and hit the freaking drywalled vent. They were like 6 foot ceilings when I know. And listen, I punched one time and I went right through the door because the Colorado Avalanche lost against some team they shouldn't have. And I was like, oh my, what did I just do? I'm like, I thought that was a door. No, it's like 1/4 inch panel with cardboard cells in it. I mean, I get it. I've been poor, but when you come at me and call me a Nazi, I'm going to destroy you. I've been doing this way too long. Like, I've been doing this 4 years nonstop. Leeroy, if you ever sneeze during my monologue again, I swear to God.
That might be a common thing tonight for both of us.
Hold on, I gotta wipe my screen off. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw Robert Downey Jr. did that, but when the reporters were not speaking to Scarlett Johansson, and they were always talking to Chris Evans or Thor or whatever their names are, and Robert Downey. And they would always pass her over. So in an interview, a reporter did it. And it was the two of them. It was Robert Downey and Scarlett Johansson. And it was her movie. And it was like whatever that show was that she did. Liv? What was the one that Scarlett Johansson did by herself?
Black Widow?
Yeah, Black Widow. Yeah. And so he asked, and they start off with Robert Downey. And he's like, you know what? This is Black Widow. This isn't Black Iron Man or Iron Widow, or this is her movie. And why don't you talk to her? So then they did San Diego Comic-Con, and they were all up there, all of them. And the reporters asked Scarlett Johansson a question first. And they're like, yeah, so Scarlett Johansson, and he goes, excuse me, if I ever don't get the fucking question, the first question again, I'm walking out of this mother. And, and just, he was so funny how he did that and made humor. He was so good at disarming reporters. And the fact that he's entering the MCU now again, I'm kind of excited about it because I got to give him credit. The guy is a master of being the lowest of the low and being the highest of the high. And he refuses to allow anyone to bring him down to that level again. And I respect the guy so much. I don't care about his personal policies. I don't care about his politics, but he always seems to be on the right side of every issue. So don't ever sneeze.
And I will say this,
go ahead.
that he was ridiculously charming, and he is very quick-witted. But here's the thing. He follows all of that up with a certain level of class. When people try to ambush him during interviews, he's just like, what are we doing? And then
I'm leaving.
Say, look, yeah, exactly.
I'm out of here.
I
Bye.
like you guys, but bye.
Yep.
I love him for that.
Yeah, and so don't ever interrupt my monologue again. So
hey, quick question.
That's you don't get a monologue.
I'm not allowed one. Okay, I got it. I understand.
Someday,
Yeah, I guess.
if you pay attention to mine enough, I'll let you have one. Things to look forward to. So if you can't have humor, all right. Anyway, go ahead, Liv.
Stumpy was wondering if he could call in because he had that question for Leeroy. Just let me know when.
Yeah,
okay.
he can't. Let's get through this opening, and then we will.
All right, Stumpy,
okay.
give it a few.
So anyway, trolls, just if you're going to walk into this arena, and you're gonna bring a sword, and you're gonna bring a shield, I recommend you use ample portions of both to be effective. But if you're all sword, you're going to get a shield right to the mouth. And if you're all shield, I'm eventually going to wear you down, and then I'm going to hit you right through the heart. So you better come in here to spar. I don't walk into your arena as a failed musician and tell you how to play Stairway to Heaven. Don't come in here and tell me how to wax intellect. Okay? Great. Thanks so much. And if you want to, you can call in because that always goes so well for people. Stumpy, you'll be here in a minute. I want to talk about something real quick. Another thing. Tomorrow, live, we will be on for at least 4 hours. It's an hour and a half debate, but it'll probably have some commentary before and after. I think it'll be 3 of us. Leeroy can't make it. I think he's getting rhinoplasty on tomorrow night.
I'm getting a colonoscopy.
Sorry, I mixed that up.
Are you
I
really?
apologize.
Are you really
No.
getting one? Oh, I'm like,
No.
Not unless he comes tomorrow.
Not unless he comes down to Virginia. So, I
can't threaten me with a good time, folks.
Threaten me with a good time.
It's gonna be a fun night.
Speaking of Iron Man, have you ever seen the show Iron Fist So it's another comic book character, but a sexual innuendo at the same time. It was really well performed, but unfortunately, I didn't curtail to my audience.
Is that performed by Jelly Man?
Grr. Tomorrow we'll be live for the debate, so it'll be Olivia, myself, and Leeroy, and Amy, excuse me. And if Olivia's not feeling well, I'm going to boot her. But we'll be here and at various times. So Amy's going to come in, and there's going to be several people watching. Yeah, I expect
I'll
it to be
be in
huge.
for the debate at 9.
Yeah, so it'll be busy. I want to talk really quick about, before we get started, just the donations. You guys might see that down below, and I want to make sure I'm always updating you on what's going on there and why. A lot of people, especially the liberals who try to troll, go in here and go, oh, this guy's grifting. Listen, almost 3 years and 7.5 months, no, 8 months. We never asked for a donation, ever. We were offered, and I kid you not, we were offered $10,000 by a listener, and I said, no, don't worry about it. We're good. I've got a full income. Everyone's happy. We make enough money from Facebook. Thank you so much. Keep that money. Donate it to a veteran, I think is what I said. And Amy will tell you, I say that all the time. Hey, just donate to a veteran. Well, Facebook decided to deplatform us. And let me tell you something. I got a message today that was probably one of the most touching things that I've heard in a while. And this happened like 3 times today. And it means something to me when people do this. And I wanted to share this with you. And this is why it makes it all so worthwhile. But it also is bittersweet. So here's the first text. I did a video today about gun control. And it says, wow, why isn't your channel huge? I see too many channels grow and the host is a screaming, rumor-spreading asshole. Pardon my French. I have to admit I started this video with my finger on the block button. Great points of view and right on point. If I hear about one more incident where the FB or the FIB or people in charge were pre-warned and didn't pay attention, I am going to explode. And then he finishes up and says, did you notice how calm or hardened the kids were? Subbed and bell rung. So that is like the 3rd time I've heard that today. And as a network, I wouldn't say small, and certainly has a lot of interaction, but as a network that doesn't reach its potential, in my opinion, it makes it worthwhile. And Amy Stamcombe gave that to me and said, here, this will make your day. And it does. And it makes my day. But it's also, it's a little melancholy at the same time. And the reason isn't because I use the word melancholy in a sentence and I aged myself. It's because you look at other channels that have 2,000 people on it. And right now, we've got almost 100, 150 across the network, and we'll have 200-300 by the time the night is ending. I would look at the potential for us to not only be very comfortable in our everyday work life and not worrying about meeting goal every month and talking about it all the time because we have to, because the less we do, the more we have to talk about it, which sucks because it takes away time from the show and it makes us feel uncomfortable and puts heaviness on us. That if we did have, and those channels like YouTube and even Twitter and Facebook actually promoted us and gave people a chance to hear what we had to say, I know where we would be. And everyone knows where we would be because we hear this all the time. Like the show with Damani on Friday, people were like, dude, there's no other show that's doing anything like this. Tim Pool does it a little bit, but it's like it's not the same. Like this is real. It doesn't feel scripted. It feels like people who actually are having a conversation to learn from each other. So I implore you, if you have the opportunity, you've taken care of family, you got your rent paid, everything's good, you're not behind on your bills, and you've got a little extra and you're thinking of, hey, where are we going to put it this month? If you've given to a local veteran, help out the Don't Unfriend Me show at the linktapgo.com/thedumshow. 100% can be private, or you can put your name on there. And Olivia will put your name up on lights if you would like, or tell her not to, but we do appreciate it. Liv said she wanted to say something about this before I finish.
Yes, we appreciate every donation. We understand times are hard, so if you can't donate, we totally understand, and we will never hold that against you. What you can do is help by sharing us out and telling your friends about us and sharing our page. Facebook is really hitting us hard on everything now.
Yep. I got a strike the other day.
I don't know what you did.
For what?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, they said the Tim Walls photo was false information. And they said that is his indirect family. And I put family. And I said, are you kidding me? I didn't say anything to that effect. I just said family from Nebraska. Those are his family members. They are. There's no lie here. And it had 75,000 interactions. I think I made like $275 on that. I had to delete it and I had to give them back $275 because they are going to give me a strike.
So normally on a daily basis, you can do invites, 1,000 invites a day. And every time before I come to the show, I do my invites. And normally we'll have 800 to 1,000 invites. Sometimes we have over 1,000. I have to wait 24 hours to do more invites.
And that means new people who've interacted with the show.
Who've never interacted before, who've commented or liked or something like that. It's been 3 weeks since we've had a max of 1,000. And just in the past, within the week, the numbers have dwindled down. Normally when we've got a post that goes viral, which this whole flag post has gone viral, it'll be weeks of max invites. We got none. Zero. And today when I logged on, we had 1. Yep. And that means Facebook is doing everything they can to block us right now. And so we don't get the word out. So just sharing us out to your friends on your page, to family members, that is really going to help us as well. Because right now we're not growing on Facebook.
And I want to add something. We are still growing on Facebook. Like we just got to follow. You see them up here all the time. Dumb Show's been followed. Dumb Show's been followed. That's us. That's organic. And it's honestly, I pay $7.50 a day just to have my name out there and be shown to people. That's something I pay for. This is another reason why this show is expensive to run. But the thing I will say, just to kind of put a caveat on this, is that we have never been fact checked on any one of our videos. Not once. Not one time. We have. And we're talking tens of thousands of hours of video. Not one time have we been fact checked. That should tell you something. We don't lie. We don't bullshit. We don't make stuff up. We don't follow the conspiracy theories and all that stuff. We tell the truth and we base it on facts. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
So much, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Stimpy.
Stampy. So anyway, the point is we've been fact checked on memes because unfortunately memes are shared across the universe and they hate anything that doesn't fit the narrative. So long story longer, we're sorry to go so long into this because we know, but it's important to us. And especially when we're behind on donations, it's slow month so far. We had a holiday 4 days into the month before we even took our first donation. So we're asking you guys to take a look, see what you can do, see if you can help out. We trust you. We appreciate you. And thank you so much. Amy, Leeroy, anything else? Yeah, please do.
I would add something. I just want to say, I love being a part of this community, even though I'm not an active participant really in the social media aspect for personal reasons. I think most of you guys have heard that story. Mm-hmm. But I work in like 2 of the most hated fields. Like I am hated for my day job. And then I've come here and then I'm also hated because of what we do and say. So just to have like the likes and the shares, even if you cannot donate, it's just really nice. I got like the best compliment today from a client of mine who I'm still currently helping. And I literally wanted to cry because people hate us real estate agents and then people who are speaking the truth and not sugarcoating it and just spreading awareness and facts. And just to have that support of, even if it's just a like or a share or tell a friend, tell a family member, it truly does mean the world to us. And thank you so much, Nancy, for the super chat.
Yes, Nancy, we appreciate it.
It's just really nice to have that support. So yes, we don't expect everyone to be able to reach into their pocketbook right now. Pocketbook, I'm aging myself.
Wow.
We don't want you to reach into your coin purse.
I thought you'd be wearing a brooch.
Oh my gosh, your face is going red. You're
we don't want
blushing.
you to pull out a couple buffalo nickels from your coin purse, unless if you want to go in your saddlebags and grab some paper silver notes, you can. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All the
My
donations.
Kleenex is in my purse.
Now get off my lawn.
Yeah.
All right,
Get off
anyway.
our lawns, get your pocketbook out, donate if you can. If you can't, just like and share. And I'm still waiting for my fan letters to come in, which I have received none.
We haven't received any fan letters either.
so-
I would love some fan mail.
So I have, but those were dick pics. So no more dick pics.
Real quick,
so-
Matt, can I see that that compliment again? Can I see that?
Yeah.
Still have that on?
Let me open up, and then we got to get to the show because I try to keep this short. I know people are so kind and they listen through this stuff, but I don't want to make this all about money. But it's when you're self-funded, you got to do it. Unfortunately. Yeah, I'm getting it right now.
Yeah, no worries. It just when I read that, I thought to myself, wow, that really lends to the show's legitimacy when you have an unsolicited compliment like that, and you would think to yourself, okay, somebody is getting something genuine out of the show. And it's not like, to Matt's point, it's not like most of this is scripted. It's not. So what happens a lot of times is as we go around the horn on things, topics change, we'll go down certain rabbit holes. So this is really very impromptu. I liked it. I just want to say that.
It's nice to feel that. Well, I am going to do us a favor and move on, not because I can't talk about us all week long, but unfortunately we have a show to do.
Oh, that's cute.
Vote Donald Trump if you want to save cats and ducks, because
That's adorable.
Haitian immigrants eat cats and ducks.
Sure.
Folks, I don't know if you've heard, but I had one of our followers say to me, "Hey, Matt, are you going to cover the Haitian?" Yes, and I'm going to cover it like crazy. By the way, Springfield, Ohio has a new Haitian barbecue, cats, dogs, ducks, and they accept EBT. So isn't that exciting? We got a caller. Can't wait for this. We'll see. Hi, caller. You're talking to the Donut and Friendly Show. Yeah, Amy and Leeroy. What can we do for you? What do you want, Stimpy? Hi, Kevin. How are you, buddy?
Glenn calls me Stimpy. It's an inside joke.
No, I think I get it. What's going on, buddy? What do you want to say and talk about?
Well, this question is addressed towards you and Lee. I don't like to leave the ladies out, but this isn't going to involve them.
Yeah, we don't want to worry their pretty little heads about it.
It's about Gaddafi.
Yes, Gaddafi.
Early, when I was younger, Gaddafi was stirring the hornet's nest. Mm-hmm. And Reagan put the fear of God in him. Mm-hmm. So after that, Gaddafi was quiet for well over 20 years. And only after 9/11, and we went into Iraq, did Gaddafi surface. And when he did surface, he said, "You guys can come in and inspect Libya whenever you want. I have no problem." And all of a sudden, it's Gaddafi must go. Why? Why does he have to go now after 20 years of not being a problem?
So Leeroy hasn't had a chance to sink his teeth into this, so I'm going to let him do that for a few seconds because I knew what
I was just going to claim ignorance because it's been so long. That was what? That happened in the mid 90s, right? No, late 90s.
No, he was whacked. Go ahead, Amy.
Well, you didn't get whacked until later, but.
Right. It was the 2000s. It was like maybe 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, if I had to guess, right?
That he was whacked?
Yeah.
No, it was under Clinton. No, it was Hillary. Oh. It was when she was Secretary of State with Obama, I believe. So I would say, what, 2012 to 2016?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that time frame. Somebody check for me. But I could be wrong.
Who am I checking?
Omar Gaddafi.
Momar.
I just remember going like Gaddafi.
Yeah, you spell it Momar.
Like Gaddafi.
Spell it Momar, but it's Omar. Or Momar. However you want to say it.
Yeah.
October 20th, 2011.
2011. Damn it, I was off by a year. See? You know what? Whatever. So Gaddafi, I'll give you my rundown quickly. Libya was one of the most, probably the number one terrorist haven in the United States, especially northern Libya. They created Hamas. They trained Hamas. Them and the Egyptians. So when we look at Gaddafi, he was always a silent player, but he was a proxy player. He proxied weapons to Hezbollah. He proxied weapons to Hamas. The JIB was all his. So although he laid low, and honestly, his people kind of respected him because he did not want to. He did not want to go the way of Saddam Hussein, and everyone got to see that on the world stage. So Gaddafi learned quickly that if you continue to piss off America, they're going to kill you. And many, I mean, you can go to the Ayatollah, you can go to the Shah, you can go to you can go to the Egyptians during the Civil War with the Egyptians. I mean, you can even go into the Dalai Lama and CIA in 1967 in Greece, when we were funding the war through Afghanistan through the Greeks. So when you look at Gaddafi, he kind of centralized and became moderate in his country. They became fairly prosperous. They traded evenly across multiple countries in the Middle East, and but however, behind in the intel community, it was well known that he harbored terrorists and harbored terrorism inside his country. And North Africa is a breeding ground for some of the most violent extremists in the world. So when he was being pushed by Hillary Clinton and the Department of State, you have to understand that simultaneously, Obama was in open conflict running proxies against 19 other countries at the same time, including Somalia, Kenya. He was hitting areas in Egypt. He was literally drone striking anyone and their mother. And although not in an open conflict outside of Afghanistan, ran the largest proxy war of any president ever. And Joe Biden has picked up right where he's left off. In fact, in that process of doing drone strikes and running proxies, somewhat of 240 some odd Americans who had surrendered their citizenship and sworn their allegiance to Al Qaeda or ISIS or Red Brigade or JIB or Hezbollah or whatever. He hit those Americans without due process. So essentially assassinating American people overseas, which completely is against the Constitution, against the law. Now, we all look the other way because they're terrorists, but it doesn't matter. They're still American citizens and allowed due process, whether they're terrorists or not. You have to go through the courts. You have to actually clarify them as domestic terrorists first. But international terrorism, they're still Americans. And people get upset with the Jews because they allow pedophiles and other criminals from the United States to flee to the homeland, which is a promise to all Jews that they will have a safe harbor in Israel. But it's not like they're allowing pedophiles running across the street. They're being held accountable for their crimes in Israel. Give me a break. But the point is that Americans need due process. And if you don't give it, you just whack them indiscriminately. This shows you the Obama's mentality, and it came with Gaddafi too. Why kill Gaddafi? Africa is going to be the breeding ground for the biggest conflicts in the next 20 to 30 years. And sooner than that, but over the next 20, 30 years, you will see a very large push into Africa. This is why CENTCOM was so important to us. This is why we wanted to have a command structure inside Africa. And I'm sure Leeroy can explain a little bit more about that in some minute detail, considering that he served in that area. Sure. But Gaddafi being killed ultimately was because of his proxy to terrorism, and the war on terrorism justified taking him out. And in the sense of that, destabilized the country, turned it into a Syria or a Bosnia-Herzegovina, completely destabilized the region, and did what liberals always do, kill people without plans. So you can go back to the Viet Cong. You can go back to every single war that we've been in where liberals have had a decision. Their job is, or their idea is, to kill the leader and replace it with somebody favorable to them. It never works. Ask the Ukraine, because we'll be at war with Zelensky, or one of our allies will, in the next 10 years. Promise you that. We will be at war with Ukraine, or one of our allies will. I see there's another call coming in. We'll get to you in a second. Amy, you have something to say on this?
I mean, you said it happened in 2011. I remember just researching it a lot when it happened. I don't know am I like missing something? I'm not being rude. Am I missing something like what brought up Gaddafi? I'm not really sure, but I do remember him being very revered by his people. Like, he was so beloved by most of his, by almost everybody. They all thought he was doing the right thing. But obviously he was harboring terrorists and not a great person. But even like, wasn't he married? His wife always was like, she like talked about him so lovingly, and like he was just so kind. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there, but I just remember like his countrymen being sad for his death. So.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not
you got to look.
him.
No, I'm not either. And I even said he was beloved, but you got to go down to the Arab Spring in 2011. Where East and North Africa was absolutely, funneling that through Egypt, and the Arab Spring that took place in 2011. He got too big for his britches, and although he lay dormant for a better part of 30 years and became prolific, the civil war in Libya, Gaddafi responded with not ritualistic killings, but putting journalists in prison, taking opposition leaders and assassinating them, taking their families. NATO had to intervene into this, so now you have international pressure. And ultimately, it just led to his capture and his death. The guy flew too close to the sun way too many times, and the United States does what it always does and says, we're going to take you out. But the Arab Spring in 2011 had a lot to do with it. That's when he got into started resting on his laurels a little bit when it came to focusing on his country and started getting on the international scene of terrorism. And the United States was not going to allow another 300,000 Kurds or Sunnis or Shiites to be slaughtered by a dictator and totalitarian ruler.
I wasn't sure if I was recalling any of this correctly, so I went ahead and looked it up, and it turns out I was. In the mid-'90s, there were heavy ties between Libya and Iran, and what I was struggling to remember was whether or not there was any sort of headlines of the time that spoke to the Libyan Navy importing and exporting old missiles, specifically like
Hey, Kev, can you stop deconstructing your entire home of metal for a second so we can answer your question? Thanks, buddy. Go ahead, Leeroy.
And so this was one of those cases where the intel community here in the United States had picked up on a lot of what was being transported with the Navy. And I think it just hit the wrong, because of the bluster that Gaddafi was putting out back in the day. To Matt's point, he was flying a little too close to the sun. And with those ties to Iran and with the known missiles that he was trying to traffic, I think that's what put him on the radar, the United States radar. And ultimately, that's enough to get you whacked.
Yep. And he supplied arms to a lot of countries too. So like I said, Hezbollah, Houthis, Hamas, he was responsible for a lot of their training and a lot of their commanders. And although it's proxy and it's kind of the unwritten rule in the international community that proxies don't necessarily create direct retaliation. You have to use economic pressures for retribution versus open war. Like I said, his nation wasn't as strong as it could have been to oppose any U.S. intervention, so they just simply did it. And if you look at the strikes, I mean, the strikes were not simple. These strikes were military compounds. They were infrastructure, ammo depots, communication networks. I mean, it was a complete obliteration of Libya's defense systems, and then they summarily executed top officials. This was an unprovoked conflict that needed to take place in the eyes of the Obama administration.
Yep,
that's it. And it was a preemptive. Essentially, it's damage control. It's like getting an oil change. They're like, oh, you've got a slight thing here that could potentially be a blown seal if you don't do this. Oh, well, let's go ahead and get that changed. That's what it was. Okay. Kev, did we answer your question?
I think his call dropped.
Did we? Kev? All right. Well, do we have somebody else on besides Kevin?
Stimpy? No Stimpy? Ren and Stimpy? No?
Well, somebody's on. They're just not talking.
Oh, Kev hung up a few minutes ago, so I don't know who.
Oh, we have somebody
All I hear
listening.
is heavy breathing. Oh,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
that's Matt.
So
Hello?
425.
Hello?
Are you there? Hello.
Hey,
Hey, who are we talking to?
Frank.
Frank, what's up, dude? What do you want to talk about?
Hi, Frank.
Well, I have a question about this whole thing with Gaddafi and a lot of these independent states that wanted to switch to the gold standard, and they didn't want to deal with the American dollar. Do you have anything to say about that?
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, listen, Saudi Arabia was kind of the thread holding all that together, and Libya not being a part of it was really no big deal, considering that they were on trade embargo and they had restrictions on their overall trades based upon their actions in the 80s and 90s. Libya wasn't a net exporter or anything that we should be overall concerned about. But whenever a Middle Eastern country drops out, I mean, if we look at Libya's GNP overall in that time, let's look at it.
While you're looking that up, I did want to add just a quick flavor of a comment. Generally speaking, when countries don't want to use the American dollar because it is the world, national currency, reserve currency. It's because they're trying to trade something direct with another country that they don't want to have the potential for it to be hampered at some point if that trade goes south.
Right. Yeah, and you're looking at Morocco is 238 billion, if that tells you anything. Libya is 99.9 at the time, and Lebanon was 75 billion. So Lebanon, the size of I don't even know. It's probably 3 New Jerseys, if anything.
I'd say New York, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the largest. I mean, Israel's New Jersey basically, and Gaza's like Rhode Island. So, I'm not saying that's a bad GMP, but when the United States can buy it over 300 times, they're not too concerned with Libya not being a part of the overall petrodollar. The big concern is, listen, this is one thing I haven't heard, and Trump better bring this up, is everyone needs to be concerned that Saudi Arabia has dropped the petrodollar, because now that makes them vulnerable for Russia, South Africa, Korea, and Iran and their overall new currency. And that's a big deal. So Trump should be talking about that on day one, I will have Saudi Arabia back on the petrodollar, and he will. And the reason why Saudi Arabia left is because the disrespect the Americans gave them. I mean, they killed a journalist. They did kill a journalist. But when somebody kills a journalist, like in Arizona, nobody went ahead and said, okay, well, we're going to leave the petrodollar because America killed a journalist. I'm not saying it's okay to kill journalists. I'm just saying you can't take an event like that and have it dictate your entire global policy. Otherwise, you'll never trade with anyone. I mean, we would never trade with the English ever again after the atrocities they did. Japan, China. So I understand that Saudi Arabia has done some things that we should all be questioning. Their human rights record is tremendously bad against women and homosexuals and everything else. But they killed a reporter, and then all of a sudden the Biden administration is like, oh, you know what? We can't do business with you. Well, you've been looking for a reason to put Saudi Arabia on the shelf because it's predominantly a pocketbook of the Republican and Conservative Party, from donations to anti-college funding and the money that they put into big businesses in the United States. Democrats don't like the Sauds. They also don't like the Jews. And let's just face it, Democrats, I mean, talking about isolationist, I mean, the Democrat policy towards other countries, everyone says that they're populist and we're isolationist. I don't know, man. The Democrat Party hates the Jews. They hate the Muslim population. They're not big fans of Russia. They pretend that they don't like China, but everything they do is to China. So they're either for global superiority through another country like China, or they're full of shit. Which one is pretty easy to see. But anyway, my point is, Libya leaving, not that big of a concern. Make sense?
Well, my only point. I'm sorry to interrupt. My only point is, I think in the end, what we're looking at is the IMF controlling everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can agree or disagree.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. I think this all comes down to money and power.
Well, it always does.
The countries that have disagreed with what has been going on, the ones that have been taken out are the ones that do not have the IMF backing them. That has been it. You can look it up. You can do whatever you want, but I'm telling you, this all comes down to a money grab. And why are we giving all this money to all these countries? Haiti, name a country, you pick.
Talking about foreign aid?
No, he's talking about the international hold on. Hold on a second. The IMF is the International Monetary Fund, right? IMF?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
International Monetary Fund. And then he is talking about foreign aid. Now, when you talk about foreign aid, there's over 100 distinct categories inside foreign aid. So be specific. Are you talking about military aid? Are you talking about infrastructure? Are you talking about food subsidies? Are you talking, what are you talking about with foreign aid? Or is it all foreign aid together?
I think it's all foreign aid together. I think they all overlap. I think they all get kickbacks because of this money that we're giving to all these different countries, and the one thing you have to ask yourself, why are we doing that? Why are we not investing in our own country? Why do we feel it is necessary to give aid to these other countries? What do we get back from that?
Okay, I want to just address. Okay, that's fair. Because we have a full show to do. I got it. Okay, Frank, because I have a full show to do, I got to short up. I'm going to answer your question. You asked it. Let me do this. But for your comment that countries we go to war with aren't a member of IMF, that's wrong. Libya is a member of the IMF. Iraq's a member of the IMF. Afghanistan's a member of the IMF. Cuba, Morocco, Liechtenstein, and like 4 others aren't. It's 169 countries are members of the IMF. So I don't know if that actually is an accurate statement. So I'm going to correct that.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine. Leeroy, did you have something to say about foreign aid and investing in other countries?
I would just simply say that I don't necessarily know what the explanation is that you're expecting. But to your point, if you're trying, if the question that you're asking is why is so much money being exchanged between the back and forth instead of investment here, back in 2008. The Clinton Foundation had raised more than $46 million from Saudi Arabia. Okay. Mm-hmm. And, those kind of donations happen quite frequently. When you're talking about fresh policies or fresh administrations coming into power and you see those kinds of donations, it's for political favor. They're trying to influence your politicians to enact certain policies that will either sway or dissuade investment in our system in favor of swayed or dissuade into investment in foreign systems. So it's all about money to your point. When Hillary Clinton lost that election, if I'm not mistaken, and somebody who's going to want to fact check me on this one, please do tell me if I'm wrong, but I think she had to give back like $20 million from Saudi Arabia that was initially given as a donation.
And what about Uranium One? What about Uranium One?
And that was because she lost. So they were expecting her to put some sort of policy forward that would have helped Saudi Arabia and in some way, I assume, taken that out of the American system.
Let me address one thing real quick before we continue. Is that I got to give Kim Salvo some props here. Is that she had to say that Lebanon was 2.1 sizes smaller than Israel. I apologize. I didn't mean to discuss landmass. I was talking about landmass when it comes to Gaza and Israel. What I meant was overall GDP and overall volume of dollars. I apologize. I should have corrected myself. So you're absolutely right. Lebanon is indeed much smaller than Israel. Thank you for correcting me. But that's what she said, and people were confused at why she was asking. Why she was asking is because I made a mistake and I misspoke. So thank you for correcting me. I appreciate it. Frank, what else? Is there anything else real quick that we can answer for you before we get on to the show? Because we got a lot to cover, buddy.
No, excuse me.
You're okay. Take your time, buddy.
I'm just trying to figure out why we are giving all these countries so much money and we're not taking care of our people here. It's a simple question.
Yeah, it's not a simple question, Frank.
I do understand it. I say I don't, but I do understand it. Because I think they're all making money off of this. And I think that's the reason why they're doing what they're doing. And it just ticks me off that we are not benefiting from our government taking care of us.
I want to just set something clear. Don't be, first of all, you never have to be sorry. Don't say that, because this is what we do on this show is we have a conversation. I just want to say this. Foreign aid makes up 1% of the overall budget. Okay? If we want to worry about overspending, maybe we should talk about the biggest spend that we have, which are social programs in the United States, which make up almost 47% of our budget. from Social Security to welfare to WIC to food stamps to government subsidies. So I understand people are concerned with foreign aid. A 1% investment, when honestly that really is about, if you look at the top 40 countries in the world, most of them are somewhere scratching the surface. Now, from a percentage standpoint, not from overall GDP and overall budget, but from a percentage standpoint, because nobody makes more money than the United States. But it's 1% of our budget. So when people are like, oh my God, we've given $660 billion to Israel, or $330 billion to Israel in 60 years, I'm like, that's a good deal. That's an amazing investment. We're not even at $1 trillion yet in 60 years for Israel to go ahead and shore up our interests in the Middle East to assure that we have some sort of representation of Western civilization in the Middle East. That's a great investment. And people ask me, well, what about Ukraine? Are you okay with that? No, because we don't need representation of Western civilization in Ukraine, because the entire Europe is Western civilization, or at least it once was before they allowed illegal immigrants to overtake their country. The point is that the influence we need in those countries have already been seeded. We are in France. We are in Germany. We are in Poland. We're all over. We're in Belarus. We're in Sweden. We're in Finland. We're in Norway. We're everywhere inside Western Europe. And the reason why is because, obviously, if you put American troops and American bases on those areas, it subverts other people from wanting to attack because they know what's going to happen. I don't consider the investment into foreign aid a bad thing. 1% of our overall budget, I'm fine with it. It keeps eyes and ears on the ground. It gives us military bases. It gives us QRT teams to go in there and hit any major targets that are representing a threat to our interests. But I would be much more concerned with ensuring that Social Security is going to be here for you tomorrow and me. Taking a look at drug use along with unfettered access to welfare. I would take a look at funding to Planned Parenthood, and if those are truly going to stem cell research and abortions. I want to look at defense contracts that have been expired for 30 years where they're not actually making up that money on the trillions of dollars that we have committed to them. Even if we put that in a common fund for low APR or an interest rate of 1.3%, it's better than leaving it to the defense contractors. So when we talk about our budget, I'm more concerned about those expenditures than I am 1% to the rest of the world.
Okay. I will not argue with you on that, Matthew. And let me tell you, I will end with this. I love you guys. I appreciate your comments.
Ditto.
And all I can say is I'm an avid listener of this. I watch every night. I value what you guys have to say. I may not always agree with what you say, but I do appreciate your theories and the things that you have to say. And thanks you buddy. So much, Leeroy, Amy, Olivia, Matthew. I love you all.
We love you too, buddy. You're an amazing friend and fan, and we thank you.
That was very sweet. Thank you, sir.
Leeroy wants to have sex with you now, so you guys can work that out amongst each other. Just don't keep him too long, Frank. Okay.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well,
no problem, buddy. Love you guys.
Frank's like, I'm waiting by the phone. Thanks, Frankie. Appreciate it, buddy. See you, bud. Listen, I think we can look at everything. I really do. I think there's a lot of opportunity for our country to look at overall spending, but you got to look at this. When you're giving $150 billion to Ukraine, but our overall spend for foreign aid is $50 to $55 billion, it makes you question, why is that money? So Frank's right. Why is so much money going to Ukraine? Why literally were the first 3 years of prosecuting the Afghanistan war cost less than what they gave to Ukraine in the first 6 months? Good question. I want to know, because I've seen the systems that they're putting in Ukraine, and it's nothing compared to what we did in Afghanistan. I mean, the mobile command units, the forward operating bases, Leeroy will tell you, we were everywhere in Afghanistan. I mean, we, from a naval standpoint, an air superiority standpoint, and a ground forces standpoint, we owned that country, and we put a lot of infrastructure. Ukraine, we're simply sending them, tank killers and some return rockets and some integrated air defense systems and some weaponry is what we started, and it was $150 billion. I've got questions.
To Frank's point, and then we can move on, but to Frank's point, I think his biggest concern is that a country that is currently $34 trillion in debt, right? The government rakes in every year from its taxpayers right around $4.5 trillion, but in the same year, our spend is closer to $6.1 trillion, and a lot of that we give away.
627 since 2023.
All right, 6.1 to 6.2. Sorry.
No, I'm just, yeah, what's a few billion? You're right. What's a few hundred billion? You're good call. I'm sorry.
I think my point is he has every right to be concerned. We're overspending by an order of magnitude, and I don't know what to tell you, man. Until we get politicians that are fiscally more conservative in place, I think these are the cards that were dealt, and I just hope that nobody calls in those loans anytime soon.
Yeah, that's really the scary thing. You know, talk about you're not going to convince Leeroy and I of anything. We've been saying that the $50 trillion, Leeroy's been saying the $50 trillion debt ceiling is the end of the United States of America and the point of no return. And I happen to agree with him. It's simply something he said and I had already agreed with. But we've been talking about this for a while. We talked about the food famine. We talked about where Africa is going to be. If you think foreign aid is bad now, wait till we bump that up about 25% when Africa literally starts dropping like flies, not just from the AIDS epidemic and genocide, but kills off the rest of the country because they don't have any food. Africa
famine,
we need to basically tell Africa, like, you don't understand what's going to happen. It's going to be a fire sale on countries. That's where Russia and China are waiting for. They're waiting for this to take place and to go in and seize property in Africa, because that is really, outside of that and the poles, that is the last open land available, but it is extremely rich in natural resources. But Africa has done nothing, and their government has done nothing to actually advance themselves from an innovative standpoint. They have literally used slave labor to continue to be an economy that is just completely flatlined. Russia, China, and the United States will be vying for that property to change that. And whoever wins that war and gains property in Africa, it will basically be who can get to them fastest. And we'll see what happens. China's ahead of the game, I'll tell you that much. There it is. Okay. Right. Wow. But sometimes, this is what this show does. It just doesn't stay on topic. And
down that rabbit hole we were talking about.
I wasn't trying to go ahead and... Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, not about this, but like I've been reading comments. Like everyone's very interested in the dog meat, duck, cat.
I know. Everyone's gonna be sick of it in 10 minutes because I'm going to dive into it like an OBGYN dives into his work. So sorry, it's not good. So
that's not a taco truck I want to see.
It would have gotten worse if you would have let me hit it with the second thing. I stopped. I want to actually have a relationship with my wife tonight that's somewhat decent. So let's Amy just spit up. Speaking of that, let's go into
you're on a roll.
Let's go into ducks, dogs, and cats. In certain populations in the world, eating our pets is a common practice. It happens in South Korea. It happens in Mongolia. It happens in Malaysia, Sumatra. It happens in the Philippines. It happens in the French Polynesian Isles. It happens in Haiti. It happens in a lot of places. People eat dogs and cats and bunny rabbits and ducks. And I'm not talking about, like duck l'orange. I'm talking about grabbing a duck out of a pond, cutting its head off, and throwing it in the barbecue and stripping it right there. Folks, it's meat. And I don't know what to tell you. Just because we've sensationalized cats and rabbits and rats and whatever as off limits, I'm sorry. Tell me 3 days after you haven't eaten that your pet doesn't look good, and you will eat it. I don't care what you say. Oh, I love Fluffy. Yeah, you're going to love to eat Fluffy too, because if you're starving, Fluffy's the first thing to go. I'm just letting you know. Once you run out of those pork and bean Bandicam fish sticks and all that crap, and you're going to eat your cat or dog. And I am too. My cat doesn't have anything on her.
She's going to be 7.5 pounds. It's going to be.
She's all tail and fur.
Exactly. So, there's not much there.
So it's not going to be much
Yoshi
different than Olivia.
Too much either.
You didn't hear my guy. It's going to be like eating Olivia. She's all tail and fur.
Oh, dear Lord.
God, I'm so sorry.
God,
I love you.
Matt.
Wow.
God, I'm going to hell. I love you. It's
full body massage.
Oh yeah, that's a given. So when we sit here and we clutch our pearls and flip it.
One.
Exactly.
Okay,
yes.
fine. So we can sit here and when I make a joke like that, just keep hitting it is not a good idea. We should just move on. It's not like it's
I
not common
disagree.
practice. Stop it. It's not like it's not common practice. But eating our domestic animals is different. And going into a local, aquifer or pond or reservoir or sanctuary for birds and, defeathering them and gutting them right there, that's a little much. And this isn't like the first time this has happened. So I'm certainly not quantifying or qualifying these actions. What I'm saying is the rest of the world does things that are a little questionable. And if we were in a situation where we were starving, we may do the same thing. Maybe I will never eat my cat. I'd rather die. Oh, okay, well, I'll eat your cat so I can live. But this is not that. So I want to dive into some things. I want everyone to kind of watch what we've got here and what I've dug up. And I think this will be a different perspective than you've been hearing all over the place because it'll be honest. First of all, there are no major police reports in Springfield, Ohio, or any of the areas that are in question.
At, by the way,
it's like
I wish I'd have known about this one. It is literally about a half an hour from me north.
Oh,
yeah, I knew it was
food truck.
So
I'd go by there for the show. I would have done that.
Yes. So now that we've established about other cultures and anyone who's saying he's advocating eating fluffy, no, I'm not. I'm telling you that I've eaten dog in South Korea. I'm sorry. I did. I've also eaten cow. So have you. So let's understand that I didn't know I was eating dog. And I certainly am not something I'm bragging about, but other cultures do different things. Now, there are no open, bless you, sweet pea. There are no open police reports that are saying, but this is, in my opinion, a flat out lie. And the reason why is that I have city council meetings. I have the mayor, about 20,000 Haitians that were brought in, and the population was, which is insane. The population is 58,082 and 20,000 people were brought in. That is almost half. That literally changes the entire demographic of that town. It takes whatever culture, whatever nuance about history, whatever the roadways and bridges and the oak tree down the road where I met Mary Jane and carved my initials in it, everything changes when you interject 20,000 people into society that have not assimilated to your beliefs. And of course, liberals don't understand why this creates conflict. Here's the video. We'll watch this. I've got a couple of videos. I apologize. Here's the first.
Springfield, Ohio, and Brian Heck is the city manager, and they both join me now. Good morning to you both. Mayor of Springfield, Ohio, and Brian Heck is the city manager, and they both join me now. Good morning to you both. Mayor Rue, tell us what's going on in Springfield.
Well, what we've seen is just such a quick increase of our population over the last 5 years. You know, like you said, up to 15 to 20,000 immigrants have come across and into our community. This has overwhelmed our safety services and caused great concern for our community.
Brian, you're the city manager. Tell us more and how this influx is impacting the city.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you for having us on this morning. You know, when we see a 25% increase over a 3-year period, we're a community, we do not have the capacity to sustain that. And it's taxing our infrastructure. It's taxing public safety. It's taxing our schools. It's taxing healthcare. And as JD Vance spoke on, it's taxing our housing. We had a housing shortage well before this immigration crisis that's impacted our community. And this has just made it 100 times worse. And so it's setting communities like Springfield up to fail. And we do not have the capacity to sustain it. And without additional federal assistance or support, again, communities like Springfield will fail.
So you got a situation where, you know, you're, like I said, you're interjecting a completely different culture into this city. And remember what happened when Ron DeSantis sent a couple buses or a couple plane loads full of immigrants into Martha's Vineyard and they shat purple Twinkies. We can't do this. our net worth in this little town is $1.2 trillion. There's no way we can afford this. What do you? We have more money than Geneva and the Vatican, but we can't go ahead and afford this. Here is some. I know this is a long setup, but I want us to be able to have an opinion on this. It's educated. Here is a. This is a Springfield Commission meeting,
I think it's like,
and this is an Ohio man. Says that Haitian illegals are decapitating ducks from parks and eating them. So even though it just gives me no faith in the police department.
Kind of odd.
One second. It gives me no faith in the police department. If they don't know about this and they don't have active investigations on this, then what the hell are the police department doing? Here you go.
Like a guy like me has to come out from doing what I do on a daily basis to have fun because I see what's going on in these streets. And I see you guys just sitting up there in them comfy chairs and suits and I'm getting out here every day. And I'm broadcasting this, and you guys are just sitting up there in suits or something. Like, I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into... They flipping cars in the middle of the street. And I don't know how, y'all can be comfortable with this. I don't know, who's getting paid from it. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. You got a bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them y'all get the Highway State Patrol down here every week, and then y'all get a task force for the Highway State Patrol, and they look for guns, and they look for dope, and this and that and the fourth. That same people that y'all got riding up and down Limestone doing U-turns, pulling people over for blinkers and pulling people over for, going left to center and, a couple miles over. Y'all can take them same people, the Highway State Patrol, and you can take them in every single one of their silver Chargers and Dodge Durangos, and y'all can take them to Sunset. And y'all can park them right over there, and y'all can teach people how to drive. Since the Highway State Patrol know so much about traffic laws and know what to do in traffic, they need to. Y'all pay them. They can go over there and teach these Haitians how to drive because it's getting bro. I'm getting thousands of views on these, and it's going to get bigger, and it's only going to get worse. And y'all sitting up there in these chairs, all y'all need to get out here and do something. Y'all making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Y'all need to put on a T-shirt and some Crocs, and then y'all need to come out here in these streets, and y'all need to go out here and I'm out here before the police is. Y'all need to do something, bro. Y'all really got to stand on business. Y'all getting paid all this money just to wear a suit and sit in a chair. I think it's crazy, bro. We got to do something, bro. It's kids out here getting hurt. Only reason I even went on here and said something about it is because somebody told me they walking from the school and a Haitian almost ran into them. And who is getting paid? How much money is y'all really getting paid, to bring them over here? I know it's deeper than them. I know that's where they come from and that's what they do. That's their country. I don't know what they got going on over there, but they can't do that over here. And if y'all just getting paid from it and then y'all ain't doing nothing about it, I think that's super weird, bro. Y'all got to stand on business. Y'all got to really.
Now, this is what's known as hold on, I'm getting an update. An Uncle Tom, because he's black and he's not espousing Democrat policies. Just want to let you know what an Uncle Tom was. What are you going to say about when black people stand up and say enough? When we say, and Donald Trump says black jobs are being stolen, and people say, oh, black jobs. What do you mean by black jobs? This is what they mean. This is what Donald Trump means. And it's not just him. I'm almost done. We've got 2 more videos to show you. It's important to hear them all. Here it is.
It's so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me. I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. My husband is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move. He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally. I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status, and you're protecting them, and I understand that Our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed. But who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me? I want out of this town. I am sorry. Please give me a reason to stay. Thank you.
Thank you.
They told her not to talk to anyone else on the side before that. You don't get to see it in the video. And they said, ma'am, don't talk to him, talk to us. And treated her with disdain. That is probably one of the most heartfelt, well-articulated, emotional speeches I've ever heard from a human being. And they treat her like dog shit because they sit on high on their pine-paneled dioceses and judge and sling with their diverse panel. You know, I hate to cuss, but these fucking people, there is an accounting coming. And
As a city manager.
just wait. I'm sick of this. I can't stand it anymore. I really can't. Here is a video. And listen, I don't have any videos to show you of 2024, but I'll show you what happened and has happened all over in Europe. This is in Italy. And if you think this is crazy and you think we're full of it, this is what Haitians do. And there's hundreds of these folks. I got you one, but this is a cat that was stripped down and put over on boards and cooked
in the road.
Yep, and this lady is screaming. You don't burn cats. You don't eat cats. It makes no sense. You're not in your country. Where are you going? Now I'm sending you to jail. Shame on you. So, yeah, you know, liberals are going to do what they always do. They're going to say, oh, this is not happening. This is a lie. Republicans are overblowing this. It's already started. But you know what's going to happen? We're going to see more videos, and then we're going to go ahead and have some sort of Democrat statement being put out.
They'll admit it to some degree.
Right. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let everyone go. I apologize, but I had to set this up right because people were like looking to me and saying, is this true? They're telling us it's lies. Of course it's true. And of course it's not lies. And just like everything else, it'll all out. And I just showed you a small portion of city council meetings. I can't give you any more proof than that, unless you think those people that I showed you are liars. Who wants to talk about this?
I could go on about that one for hours.
Same.
Can I go on first only because it is so close
Yes.
to me? Like
Yeah.
literally, I could drive
Yeah.
there within the hour. Before the end of the show, I could actually get there.
And can I have a 1 minute break? Sorry, I'll be right back.
Is it a pee break? No. Yeah. You can't. No. We've talked about this, Amy. No. Go.
We rarely go.
All right. So
sorry, Leeroy, that we had any comedy. Sorry.
So why don't we eat our own animals? Why is that? Is it because we form some sort of an emotional bond with either a close family pet, right, or the breed or the species of the animal? We only eat the ones that aren't, fluffy and cute. We assign a value on those animals based off of, largely what they look like, and again, how we form those emotional bonds. I've known plenty of people who ate, gator and snake and squid and squid. Okay, you guys watch The Boys, right?
Yeah.
There was that episode where the Deep had to eat Timothy.
Yeah.
Right? And same kind of thing, right? At some point, why didn't he want to do it? Because he knew the guy. He had an emotional bond with the thing. Now, when we have foreigners that show up and they have a different value system from our own, right? Certainly if you drop off an American in the middle of India and say, hey, I'm going to go to McDonald's and get me some Chuck Round, he's going to have a problem, right? We're not supposed to, when foreigners show up in your country, they're supposed to kind of conform to our rules, just like an American in India would never, would be, highly suspect if they see him, carving up a T-bone.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is one of those things. And beyond that, local city code prohibits this kind of thing. It prohibits you cooking, unclean animals or things that are, you have to have hunting permits.
Hi.
To
Hello.
some degree.
Fiona.
Hi, Fiona.
Okay.
To some degree, I do agree with the state on that, where they should have some level of control over that kind of thing. a fishing license or a deer hunting license. So if you've never been issued a dog hunting license or a cat hunting license, I'm going to say you should have some issues. So yeah, I do take offense to this. Great offense. It's one of those things where you can tell that the incoming population is going to overwhelm city services quickly, and there's no one. They're just leaving the local citizenry there to hold the bag. That poor woman, she's ready to leave. And here I work about 10 minutes from there, and I'm trying to imagine what's going to happen when all of a sudden some level of Haitians, say a couple of thousand of them, just take disagreement with U.S. policy and show up at the gates. It's going to be a hell of a day.
Yeah.
This thing's scary. It is actually very
It's
scary.
absolutely scary. I mean, it's terrifying. It's also terrifying that Olivia and I are going to have to eat dog if we can't find a way to increase the September goal. So we don't want to eat our cat because there's not a lot there. That's really like a 2-second meal. So if you can find it in your hearts to help the show, which is completely funded by viewers and only viewers outside of what Wimkin donates, and when you buy a shirt or whatever meek advertising we have left on Facebook, linktapgo.com/the show to help fund the show. If you like what you hear, you enjoy the show, this is your first time watching or it's your 100th time, maybe it's time to say, hey, I want to help the show and I want to contribute. Because if I give $20 to Starbucks every week, or I give $100 on something else, like my Richard Simmons Step Into the Oldies VCR tapes, maybe you can help the show. So please, if you have it and you can help, linktapgo.com/the show. Another video I want to show you, JD Vance. People give him a hard time. Just some more. What?
Amy and I didn't get to talk about
I know.
that.
That's why I'm showing the video. So
Okay,
we can continue to move the conversation, because I told you, this topic is extensive.
Got it.
There's too much. I've researched it too much. Let me just keep doing the video, and then someone can talk. Then we'll do a video. Someone can talk, and then we'll all be done. Here it is.
Adjusting transmitter.
Holy crap. Come on back. Wrong button.
This is the Don't Unfriend.
We're not going to keep, we want everyone to have something to say. But this is JD Vance, who was warning about this months ago. Now, isn't it funny how everyone gives so much crap to JD Vance? And I certainly doubt the media is going to be like, oh, well, wait a second. JD Vance said this
in our state
quite a while ago, and nobody listened. Here it is.
Ask unanimous consent to submit a letter for the record from the city of Springfield in our state, the southwestern part of our state, which I think highlights a very real example of this particular concern, straight from the horse's mouth itself. Now, this letter, I want to quote from it. Springfield has seen a surge in population through immigration that has significantly impacted our ability as a community to produce enough housing opportunities for all. Springfield's Haitian population has increased 15 to 20,000 over the last 4 years in a community of under 60,000 previous residents, putting a significant strain on our resources and ability to provide ample housing for all of our residents. And end quote there. And Mike,
No objection. So
thank you. In my conversations with folks in Springfield, it's not just housing. They're trying to build 5,000 new housing units, which is a very Herculean task in a town of about 55,000 people, but it's also hospital services, it's school services, there are a whole host of ways in which this immigration problem, I think, is having very real human consequences.
Wow, sounds racist to me. Amy, Olivia, who wants to go? Because we've had our chance.
I'll go. One of the main reasons these immigrants come here is to have a better life.
Chairman Brown, I'd like to ask unanimous
And
consent.
they're coming to our country to escape what is going on in their country. So when they come over here, they need to respect our rules and our laws and how we live. Because if you're trying to escape your home country because it's awful there, why are you living your life the same way you lived it in your home country? Respect our rules. We don't eat our cats and dogs. We don't put them on the barbecue in the middle of the street. It's respect us. It's like when we went on our honeymoon and we went to Disneyland, and right in the middle, walking through like downtown Disney, right in the middle of the street, 2 Japanese men just whipped it out and peed right in the middle of the street. I'm like, what the F is going on? Apparently that's perfectly normal in Japan. We're not in Japan. We are in the United States. You're also in frickin' Disneyland, which like 75% of the population there is children. And kids don't need to see it, and parents don't want their kids to see it. I mean, we don't need our cats and dogs here. If we're in the apocalypse, the fair game, great. I don't care. But we are not in the apocalypse. So respect our rules, or just go back home. If you can't come here to make America a better
they won't
place,
take them.
Then go back home.
Dominican Republic won't take these people.
It's just awful.
Ames?
I don't know what Leeroy said, so I doubt I'll reiterate anything. He said he's way more intelligent than me, but I will just touch on this briefly and say, like Liv said, people come here for the American dream. However, they also know that unlike other countries that have borders, that have laws in place for immigrants visiting people to their country, they don't enforce the laws and rules to we're not unhoused people. What are they called? They're not illegal immigrants. People, I forget what they're calling them now. Whatever the PC term is now, I forget what it's.
Asylum seekers?
Whatever it's called now. I don't know. It changes on the weekly basis. So
yeah,
illegal immigrants, they're breaking
That's
the
what it
law
is.
by coming here, and we're not prosecuting them. There are literally illegal immigrants who are committing murder, and they are letting them walk out on the street again because they are in a sanctuary city where ICE cannot touch these people. And I'm not exaggerating. I have literally been researching this the last 2 weeks obsessively because I didn't know this. I thought that, surely we're keeping the murderers off the street, but we're not. We're letting them literally walk out the door.
Do you mean ICE? The group that Kamala Harris said was similar to the Klan?
Yes, they are. They are so racist that they don't. Yes. Every other country in the world has a border. Every other country in the world has rules and laws that they expect their citizens to abide by. And if they don't, you get in trouble. And if people come to visit their country, like in Japan, if you, chew gum or something and you spit on the road, then you get in trouble there, I think. I'm not sure. But
it's
Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
that's Singapore.
Yeah.
Is
But
that Mel?
It is.
Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
There's different laws. Hi,
Mel.
Mel. My point is,
Hi, guys.
America is a sham. We are not. We have no borders. We don't care about our citizens at all. And if we did, we would protect them. And we are just trash to them. We value the illegal people who are here, who have broken the laws to come here. We value them and their non-existent rights under our law, under our freaking constitution that doesn't exist for them. I'm just so sick of it. Yeah. But anyways.
Well, I think it's apropos because we actually have a call in, not just from Mel, but we have another person on the line. Representative Maxine Waters is here. I'm so excited because we haven't had our fill of female James Browns. So here are her comments. Maxine Waters, please go right ahead.
Let me just say this, that Haitians have been the victims of, not only our country, but Canada and France for years, historically. They're black, they're poor. It's the poorest country in the hemisphere. They have been exploited, and it continues all the time. They are not, it does not appear that they are seen in the same way that they see others. Haitians have been the victims because they were the first country to fight off, the repression of France. And, of course, France have made them pay a big price for it. Yes, I think they're treated differently because they're black, because they are Haitians, and because tradition.
Okay, I had to disconnect the caller because I couldn't take anymore. I love her so much. She's so based and grounded. And God, I thought it was just simply that their culture was completely different than ours and they didn't respect our rules. I had no idea it was about racism. Thank God. It's so simple to take care of that. All we got to do is kill white people and everything will be fine. Mel, did you want to chime in on this?
Oh, well, I just threw up on my floor when she threw Canadians.
Wow.
With the Haitian, whatever, and how we hate
Canadian bacon
Haitians.
doesn't go down.
Yeah, we do. Our Canadian military went over there after the fiasco with the storms and whatever, and Hillary Clinton stole all the money.
Yeah, the 100 million from Haiti that she never gave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was sitting out on a boat just off the coast, whatever, and we're dealing with the Haitian blah casualties, blah, whatever. And I'm like, Maxine Waters, you have no fucking idea about Haitians. I despise, because if they're Haitians and Dominican Republic, and I don't know if your audience knows, it's such a little tiny island, and part of it belongs to is Haiti, and the other half is Dominican Republic. Well, there's a big mountain range in between, whatever, and Dominican Republic almost shoot. Well, I know they do. They shoot whatever Haitians that are trying to cross the border because they're like, you ain't coming here to fuck up our neighborhood, because these people are fucking. Sorry, pardon my French. I'm sorry, Olivia. Like, whatever, I'll put it in my
Olivia, I'm the one that's reforming. You should
like,
apologize to me.
Oh my God! Like, Haitians are the scourge of the earth. They're so cave, whatever. Yeah, and right now it's carnage over there because whatever his name is, Cookie Monster, or whatever the fuck his name, like whatever is trying to take control. Like, Haiti has been a screw up for 9,000 years. Like, it's just all the derelicts, and yeah, it's the scourge of the earth. Like, I can't tell you how much I despise the country of Haiti and their occupants, because they're nothing but the scourge of the earth. So when they come to our countries, despite Maxine Waters saying, "Oh, well, Canada and the U.S., like, we're all that," and these people are disparaging the black people, I'm like, are you insane? Do you know how these people operate? No, she hasn't got a clue. She has to change a wig or do whatever. Like, she's like, she needs to go to the home with Joe and Nancy Pelosi and like all the rest of them. They have no idea. They have no idea what the world is all about. So going back to the animal thing, because that was why I originally called, because we had been having the debate while you guys were doing your other whatever about eating animals. I'm like, so all these other countries, it said, so when you go down, so in your new neighborhoods in Philadelphia and Los Angeles or whatever, and you see clotheslines going across between apartment buildings, and you see all these things that are hanging out on clothes pegs. They capture birds, dogs, cats. They dry them out. They do, like, this is normal. Like, it's normal across the world, not in North America per se, or what it wasn't per se like 10 years ago, but it's becoming more prevalent. Like, people are eating more things and whatever. And then I get really pissed that PETA picks on everybody else that eats cows, pigs, chickens, whatever, that are.
Did you know that PETA, did you know that nationally, PETA has an 87% kill rate on animals that they take in their centers?
Yes.
Just thought I'd let you know, 87% they murder and sit here and go, we protect the animals. No, you don't. You kill them, you stupid bastards.
Well, yeah, we just had Rib Fest here in Victoria on Vancouver Island, and PETA for the past 6 years, they have their protesters out there, don't eat the pigs or whatever. And I'm like, are you shitting me? Of course, everybody walks by and just laughs at these people. We're like, you guys are insane. Because you have no standards. You're picking on a certain domestic whatever for your little whatever, but you kill more animals behind scenes that people don't know about. So 99% of the people understand that PETA sucks, because it's a useless organization. Like, yes, I understand about animal cruelty and whatever, and yes. There was a point at the beginning, but right now it's like, you guys are, you're so whack.
Mel, hold on. Mel, hold on. Mel, this is gold. This is gold. Just hold on. It's actually nationally 87%. The 92% you can't. There's actually a couple, because California being such a large place, and New York skew the numbers. So when you do it nationally, it's actually 87%. But when you want to talk about some of them have a 97, 98% kill rate. Virginia is one of the highest. So is Pennsylvania. They're horrible. In fact, Stephen Hofstetter, who is a comedian, who I just think is a complete douche plow, who I've went after, and he thinks he's so smart, but I've completely destroyed him every time he's faced me. I happen to agree with him. He had one of the best videos I've ever seen on PETA and how they're a complete trash organization. I got to give it to him. I would share it, because even though he's liberal, he still has good ideas. Okay, Mel, go ahead. I want to hear your rant. Are you done?
well, yeah, because I've been arguing with not arguing. I've been putting my point across to different people. I said, you don't understand what goes on the others. Well, in all the rest of the world, other than in this little now, which is becoming a really tiny enclave, North America, U.S. and Canada. Yes, we tend not to eat our domestic animals, but push comes to shove, I'll guarantee you.
Oh yeah,
it will happen.
It'll be
But
Kentucky Fried
right
Kitty
now,
if it gets bad enough. Trust me.
Yeah.
Leeroy,
Oh,
you're getting off the line. Leeroy's leaving. Leeroy, good night. See ya. Thanks for being on the show.
He's falling asleep.
We love you. You look
Love
like
you,
shit.
Leeroy.
I
Feel
love
better.
you.
Bye, Leeroy.
Bye, buddy. We love you.
good
Kicking
night.
Leeroy off the show. I care about my team, and if he looks that bad, I gotta kick him. Mel, we appreciate you. Mel, have you been drinking tonight? I'm just wondering because if you have, you need to ensure that you. Damn it! You need to ensure that you drink every time you come on because that was fantastic.
Oh
no, and every time I come on, I don't drink. Like so.
Damn it!
And it's been 10 days. Whatever. I got some unannounced company in the last 10 days, so I haven't been on the or watched the show. I try to go in and look and listen after I go to bed with my company and like whatever. And I'm like,
whoa,
what?
Wait,
Yeah,
hold on now. Inquiring minds want to know. Go to bed with your company. That just opens up so many questions. I mean, first of all, why are you playing the pronoun game?
Yeah.
A buddy of mine for back in the day, I've known him for like 52 years now.
You got a
texted
booty
me
call
on a Thursday night at the ferry going, I'm coming to the island and I'm coming to your house. And I'm like,
he's like, booty call.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
but
like,
you didn't say
booty
we're
call
going to bed. You said going to bed together.
Yeah.
No.
With my company.
With my company, not separately, but with my company. Listen, are you getting Are you getting some action on the side there, Canada?
And we hope you are.
No, I can't. No, I can't. Unfortunately, because my medical, whatever, I can't do that anymore, which really annoys me at some point. But yeah, I'm not physically able to do any whatever. But no.
Olivia and I will do it. You can live vicariously through us. Fair?
Perfect, but
this needs to be another show because I have a lot of questions about that.
I do too.
Not today. Like we need to have you back on, and you need to just open up your personal life and tell us everything, please.
That's a night that I can take off, and you and Olivia can run that show because that would be awesome, right? And I won't be there.
I just have a lot of questions about that.
We'll have 9,000. We'll have 9,000 viewers, and it'll be all great.
Yeah, I get no doubt.
The fellow that came to visit me is the godfather of my oldest child. So I'm like, yeah. My eldest has two godfathers. I'm not a girl-friendly kind of. A lot of close personal friends. Like I count 4 in my entire lifetime of 70 years that I can phone up and I need you, and they'll be here. And I've already tried it. I've told my kids that. They said you have to learn how to discern the difference between acquaintances and friends.
Right.
And friends are the ones that you can pick up the phone at any time, day or night, and they'll answer it, and they'll be right there if you need them. Acquaintances are like, yeah, I'll get there. I'm doing my nails and blah, whatever. I've got lots of those, whatever. But I have 4, and I said to the kids, I said, if you die with 10 friends, like whatever, you have reached nirvana because nobody does that. If you get to 5, you are just you're still astronomical because one hand like 4, and that's what I've based my whole life whatever on. But anyways, I digress.
No, you're not digressing. We love you, but we got to get to some other stuff. That was an epic rant, Mel. Epic rant. We loved it. We appreciate it. We love when you call in. Don't stop calling. Okay. And
cheers. Love you guys.
Have fun with your booty call. Bye bye.
Yeah. Love you.
I love that lady. She's so classic. She's amazing. She's that's the best rant she's done some rants over the years, but that one was pretty good.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
So we've got a first time viewer on YouTube.
Okay.
Steve and Susie's Homestead. It's their first time watching.
Yeah, I saw that.
They've got the best sense of humor.
Yeah, they're pretty
Perfect
funny.
for
I've
the
been reading some
show.
of their stuff.
And the best comment of the night. Why is my mouth watering every time that cat walks on?
That's right. That's right.
I was
That's so
gonna
good.
die when I read it.
So good.
I was like, this is the
So good.
perfect,
Okay, they're also
perfect sense of humor for
they're
the
in.
show. You fit right in.
They're in.
You're our people.
We like it when people
Yes.
make fun. Folks, let me be transparent. Tough night. Donations are stagnant. And listen, I know it's early, but at the 10th of the month, we need to at least be a third to our goal. So we're having some struggles. So if you have the ability to give to the show, keeps the show on air, keeps us going. It takes a lot of work to put these together. It takes a lot of work to do the articles. Did a 45-minute show today. None of that is easy. None of that is simple. And we rely on you. We know it's a tough burden for you to handle that. But until we can get that audience that we know we deserve, we need your help. So if you have the opportunity, please help us. Amy, do you have something real quick before we shuffle?
No, just to add to that, like, yes, we really rely on your support and we appreciate everyone for what you can do. So we would like, please do not donate because me and Leeroy were here tonight. We often hear that donations are down and there was like a gnat or something.
They're all on our house too. It's welcome to city living, our country living.
It's country. It's fall, so like I had to
those
throw away
little
like
gnats.
every piece of fruit today, and then buy all new fruit. 'Cause
It's
I'm like,
horrible. They come up through the
about it,
drains,
yeah.
by the way. So if you want to get rid of them, and there's this really cool thing that we use on Amazon. Best thing is get a cider jar, fill it up with apple cider with some soap, poke some holes in it, shake it up, leave it up there. I mean, we have an entire cemetery full of those little fuckers.
Yep.
I know.
And there's
It's great.
like tens of thousands of them in there. And we're just like, all right. Folks, Alvin Bragg. I have done videos on Alvin Bragg. I told you this guy was just stacking charges. You know what? I love when I'm vindicated. I love when those liberals come in here. He's a felon. You know what? Guess what we just found out today? We have a secret recording of Alvin Bragg pushing back on the charges and saying that he was arranging and stacking charges to make it fit and make it worse than it was. Here is the report. The recording will come out soon. It's going to be under the Freedom of Information Act. I know plenty of people have filed suit to get it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the recording is crap, but here is the report.
Adjusting transmitter output.
No.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show.
Shut up. Stop transmitting output. Okay, here we go. This is for your viewing pleasure, and then we can discuss it. And honestly, if I was Donald Trump, I would sue the state of New York for at least, in my opinion, $2 billion. $2 billion. And then I'd go after for the civil case, because if there is bias in this case, that means there's bias in the state of New York. The level of corruption for this guy who turned down the investigation to begin with because he said there wasn't evidence. The federal government turned it down. The state government turned it down because there was no evidence. These were past and they were expired charges. These were misdemeanors that were increased to felonies, and he stacked it. He fucking stacked it against Trump.
Thank you, Amy.
I don't care what they say about Trump. I don't care how much shit they say about Trump. I will fucking die before I don't vote for Donald Trump. I will make it my life's mission to bleed MAGA through and through until all these sons of bitches are in prison. This guy should be strung up in handcuffs, and he should face the fucking death penalty for what they did to Trump. I'm sorry. It's treasonous. It's interference in an election. It is one of the most seditious and absolutely disrespectful things, and I am absolutely up in arms, and I can't even frickin' speak. I'm so pissed. And I'm sorry for my language, but I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. God, fuck. Just listen to this. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm mad. I don't care. This is just, dude, how much can you do to one man? How many times is he going to be right where people finally go, you know what? We're done. He's right. I understand he could be a pig. I understand he could be a jerk. But guess what? This is ridiculous. They did it on purpose, and now it's outed.
Alvin Bragg was stacking charges and rearranging things just to make it fit a case. To be honest with you, I think the case is nonsense. Every real estate person in New York does what Trump did. Nobody's even been charged with this. Leaked audio has just
That is leaked audio.
Thank you, Carrie Ripley.
Thank you, Carrie. And I'm sorry for my language, folks. Ladies, I'm sorry, but I've had enough. I've had enough, man. I can't take it anymore. I've been doing this for 4 years. I've been protecting this guy. I've hit him when he's wrong. You know I have. I've hit him when he's wrong. I hit him on the stolen election. I hit him on the things with J6. I hit him on some of the things that he says. But I have fervently defended him that the DOJ has persecuted this guy. They spied on his campaign. My brothers and sisters in the intel community completely broke every law against this guy. Enough is enough. What do you think?
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. I am not, I don't have Trump arrangements, whatever, TDS. I don't have it on either side. Yeah, I don't have it either way. I did vote for Trump 2 times. I thought he was a really good president. I don't think he was perfect, but I don't think we've ever had a perfect president. But also knowing some people, thanks, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank God. Thank you, Thomas. Thank God for you helping us. It means the world, everybody. Thank you. We need it.
Yes, thank you. I had some things come to me, and I cannot give information on who or what agency this came from. But there were some, I guess, things that were happening on the backside of our world, and they do not want Donald Trump to be in office. And I say they very broadly. Again, I do trust these people that I got this information from, and it just sounds like they're trying to do it as legally as possible, as in like they're trying to ruin him, so they can't just say like so they can't basically rig the election to say he lost even when if he wins. Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you, everybody. So I hope that's coming across clearly. Basically, they're trying to do everything they want to do that they can do in the legal aspects to keep Donald Trump out of becoming president. They never thought he would become president the first time. No one expected that. And they didn't want him to be president. This is not just within our country. I guess it goes broader than that. And I don't know. I don't even know all the information, all the ins and outs. I just know very little. But it sounds like they just don't want him to win at all. And so Bragg is doing what he's supposed to do, and he's a terrible person who has to have a chin strap so he can have a chin because he's so chubby.
No crap, right? I mean, seriously,
I can't stand him though.
Neckbeard's driving me crazy. I just can't stand the fact that they listen. Donald Trump is not innocent of things. He has done things that are not perfect, and he's made bad mistakes. But when you're going to sit here and say that 6 bankruptcies out of 250 businesses is a bad ratio, you're an idiot who knows nothing about business. If you're going to say the record job growth that he had under his administration, the stock market record, he still has taken it leaps and bounds above Joe Biden. Yes, Joe Biden has had a huge increase in the stock market, but nobody increased it more than Donald Trump. Thank you, Violet. We love you. This whole thing is just absolute bunk. Why can't you allow the American people to see it on its merit? This is the problem. Now, you've got Alvin Bragg. You know, E. Jean Carroll just came out and said that she's been raped like 13 times now. Now she's been raped 13 times. Give me a fucking break. This lady is a nut job. Alvin Bragg is a shill. They need to put these people in cuffs. They need to throw them in prison. Let's start sending a fucking message. Okay, if it's okay to go ahead and take 12 of Trump's former associates who were not even tied to Russian collusion, and you got them on charges from 15 years ago, then it's time to start sending these people to jail. You need to put them in prison for life. Take Alvin Bragg. You knew what he did. Everyone told you this was a complete shit show, that this was a joke. You take Mershon and you put him in cuffs and you throw him in jail for life for this because they have tried to destroy a man's reputation. How is this any different than screaming rape and destroying a person's life and having to go to jail for 20 years? Donald Trump can literally be sentenced to prison in November because of this type of shit. When is somebody going to stand up and say enough? I'll tell you what, man, I have never been this angry in my life, but whatever Donald Trump does, if he gets office, he's justified. I don't even care if he breaks the law. At this point, I don't care. I want reciprocity. I'm not looking for justice. I want revenge. I'm calling for revenge, not justice. I'm pissed.
I don't think that we can do that though. And I say we as like a Trump supporter, and I do hope he wins the next election, but I don't agree with you with that. I don't think we should exact revenge or anything of that because there's a double standard.
I don't
and there's
care.
so much I know, but I still hope for peace in our country at some level.
We're not going to get peace with these people, Ames. They don't follow the rule of law. These people are vagabonds. They are criminals. They are corrupt. They are literally Julius Caesar. They are just with knives and daggers behind curtains. They're cowards. This is treason. These people use the law. They assert power from the people. I understand. Just tell me what Donald Trump did while he was in office that was criminal. Just tell me. Nothing.
No, I agree, but I just don't think that
I know.
we should be, not that, and I'm not one of those people like we can't be calling to violence. I'm not even saying that because like we're a small potato show compared to like other people, and we're not calling for that. But I just don't agree with that. I think that
I'm not calling for violence.
No, I didn't. I know, but no, like no, I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying people.
I'm not.
No, I know you're not. I'm just saying we're not. But things are misconstrued on the internet. I don't believe in even like exacting revenge, or I think Donald Trump has to take the high road. I think it's the only way he can ever succeed.
They're going to kill him, Amy.
I agree.
Amy, they're going to kill him.
I know there's been other attempts, and I know there will be more. So
this is only what people know. They don't know how many attempts there have been. This isn't the first. There have been multiple. This people don't know the whole truth because the damn media won't tell them. But I called this. I've been saying this for 3 years. When you have Adolf Hitler, you'll do whatever you can to stop him. Anyone who thinks that this is just is a danger to our country. They are a danger. If they can do this to him, what can they do to us? We're seeing it, man. Our livelihood is at stake. They're trying to bankrupt us. They don't want us to talk. I have never used those words in my life. I have said in 4 years on this show, the rule of law, the rule of law. At this point, I don't care. I believe that there is a hidden underbelly to this government that nobody understands, where we don't follow the rule of law to prosecute people. We do it all the time. We snatch foreign leaders. We snatch resistance movements. We pick people up domestically. I know this because I work for our government. I am saying unleash the alphabet agencies on the people who did this. Do the exact same thing they did. Weaponize the DOJ and go after these people. And I don't care. I just don't care. Because the problem is if we do not do something, if Trump gets in office and they don't clean up this mess and get these people by legal, clandestine, or hidden court, get these people, they're going to kill him. Because that's the next step. They can't allow him to become the president. I don't think you people understand how dangerous this is, how insane this is. And the house of cards is falling. You have Bragg, who sat there and was talking on freaking open TV at how justified this corruption was. And we were all telling you, this is ridiculous. Even the property valuation of Mar-a-Lago is a joke. There's homes next to it that are 1/100th the size of Mar-a-Lago that are going for more money than what they estimated the value for. I showed you articles from 40 years ago that had Mar-a-Lago vested more than it is today. And you think property value in Florida has gone down? I showed you how these were expired. I showed you the affidavits. I showed you the testimony. I showed you precedent. I told you this was happening. I sat up here and screamed from the rooftops as I showed you the documents trial was a complete scam because I got the inventory report before anyone else on the FBI. I showed you that. Leeroy and I sat here and dissected it and told you there were 17 SCI folders and material in that entire thing. And they said it was thousands. It was a lie. This is all they do is lie. So when I say revenge, I'm sorry. When civility and law and order does not work the way of the Ronin or the way of the samurai, you have to weigh what is best for the empire. And at this point, it's the way of the Ronin, because the whole faith and lawfulness shit isn't working anymore.
Thank you.
I know, Amy. I know you're just let me say it. It doesn't mean I believe it, but right now,
No,
fuck Law and Order.
I can appreciate what you're saying, and I don't disagree with the words that are coming out of your mouth, but from the other side, and as like,
You're right. You're right.
I just have
You're
two
right.
little kids, and I just want to have a country that's still standing.
I agree.
Even
I
if it's in
agree.
terrible condition, I don't want to have another world war. I don't want to have a civil war. I don't want to have the animosity that people have against us. Like I said, people hate me at my day job, and then I tell people I'm on this podcast, and they're like, "Oh, what do you talk about?" And I'm like, "Oh, we talk about a lot of current events and politics and things like that." And they're like, "Oh," it's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, you're a freaking horrible person." And I'm like, "I know." And my day job is a real estate agent, so I'm like double horrible. So suck it.
But you're not horrible, and I'm not horrible.
No, I know, but that's the point. People don't take the time to listen to anyone, and it's just I don't know. It's just hard.
But
it's just hard.
let me give you an example. In the Civil War, when they assassinated Lincoln, okay, the entire world changed at that moment.
Yep.
Is that they stole a leader from us. They stole somebody, whether you agree with Lincoln's methods or not. And I don't. Listen, I've got plenty to say about Lincoln. He was an opportunist. I know a lot of things that the North was the last to abolish slavery as they were killing Southerners for it. Okay. So I'm aware. I know. But you killed him and you changed the rules of the game. You altered the lines you do not cross. And the moment that either side politically decides to weaponize the media, the government, the DOJ against a former president or sitting president, they spied on his campaign. They impeached him twice. $47 million on a fake Russian hoax investigation. They manufactured P-tapes in the dirty dossier. Strzok and Page in the FBI, Brennan, Tapper, CIA, FBI, NSA, intelligence agencies wrote 41 fake letters. 41 fake letters denying the Hunter Biden laptop. Ordered the Facebook, Twitter, and all social media lie and refused to release information that could have changed the election. Altered the constitutional law of states under false emergency provisions under COVID by sending out mail-in ballots to unregistered voters. Everyone understands that I feel that this was an unconstitutional election, and I have said it for 4 years. These people are not playing by rules. These people are the enemy. And I'm not talking about liberals. I'm not talking about Democrats. I'm not talking about the Washington fat cats either. Or I'm not talking about the neocons. I'm not talking about the Uniparty. I am talking that there is an absolute ultimate power in this world that is influencing our country and deciding the way we are represented in this republic, and it needs to end. And anyone who is complicit needs to be in jail for treason. This is sedition. This is treasonous. And to sit here and say that Donald Trump's treasonous when all of these cases are falling apart, when he's being vindicated yet again, you have to ask yourself the question, how many times does this guy have to be right for you finally to support him and say, enough, let him clean up the mess? I understand he didn't clean up the swamp in 16 and 20. I get it. Do you really think that Donald Trump isn't going to focus 100% on cleaning it up now because his life depends on it?
Yeah. I agree with everything you're saying. I do. And I have learned myself some things recently, again, by people that I trust in different agencies near DC that have let me know information that I cannot share. I'm sure you guys know. I'm sure Leeroy and you might know, but I didn't know. And I was like, oh, there's just a lot of things that are happening that I was unaware of. That
If
go,
anyone
like you said,
believes
they're bigger
this
than
isn't
our country.
innocuous,
This isn't, if all the media has the same talking points, if every single station is saying the same thing, if we see them daily saying all the same shit over and over and over, whether it's Russia, 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 or diapers, diapers, diapers. Now they're saying that he is mentally unfit because they have a young black Haitian Indian inside. Now they're going after his mental faculties. This is a propaganda machine. It's not about Democrats and Republicans. It's deeper than that. There is something nefarious here. There is something that is so large we can't even put our finger on it, that I don't even know and can't even scratch the surface. Whatever that is needs to be rooted out of our country and destroyed. It starts with Citizens United. It starts with free speech for corporations. That shit needs to stop. They are not voters. They are not citizens. Citizens United needs to be ripped apart and thrown away. Political action committees need to be destroyed. They need to be banned from Washington, D.C. There needs to be a perimeter around D.C. that if you are not an elected official or you are not a side federal entity and an employee, you have no business in Washington, D.C. if you're not visiting the Smithsonian. Get these fuckers out of our country. I'm mad. I'm mad because I am an honorable human being. I have fought for this country with my words. I have signed up to die for this country. I have defended this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic, from an intelligence standpoint. I have faith in it. I have given back to it in taxes. I have worked for some of the largest corporations in this country. And I have always handled myself with honor and integrity, and I will never, ever allow anyone to besmudge my name. But I am so tired of this. I am so tired of this bullshit. I'm not calling for violence. I'm calling for reciprocity, because justice is no longer available to us. It is no longer an option. So the only thing you have after that is reciprocity. I know. Just let me be pissed. I'll be fine tomorrow. But tonight, I'm mad. Olivia, anything?
Nope.
Oh,
Wow.
feel better.
All of that.
She's not feeling good. Do you ever take
know.
Alka-Seltzer?
No, I've been told. I took Dayquil before the show, but it wears off after a couple hours, and that's where I'm at.
I'm telling you, I think I was never an Alka-Seltzer person, but they have a daytime and a nighttime. And when I'm sick, like 3 full committed days and nights on that, and then it'll knock anything out of you.
I will
highly
have
recommend.
to try it.
It's disgusting, but it works. The day and the night.
I'll try it.
I will. I'm going to say one thing, and then we're going to go. Is the Uniparty? This is beyond the Uniparty. I'm letting you understand that Washington politics are different than the Uniparty. It's not the Uniparty. It's not the leftists. It's not the neocons. It's not the alt-right. It's not the rhinos. This is beyond politicians. This is money.
Yeah.
This is somebody who has bought America, who has bought the politicians, and they know damn well that Donald Trump doesn't play ball. Donald Trump is a lot of things, but being bought isn't one of them. And nobody, not one person can demonstrate anything remotely close to that he can be bought. Donald Trump makes mistakes. He's not perfect. He makes mistakes. I disagree with him sometimes, but he's not buyable. He's not. Because
and that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem, because you have to look at the politics and the politicians that we've had, people who have run for president. They've all been basically granted access. Like, they've been allowed to run. You have to come up through the ranks. You don't just decide to run for presidency one day. You get anointed, essentially. You go up through. I was in the Young Republicans. I did not last more than a few years because I didn't like how things, and I'm still a Republican, but the ins and outs of it all can be gross. And if you don't come up through the ranks, you have to be vetted by everyone. Donald Trump was vetted by no one because he didn't need to be, because he had the money to do it. And he had the popularity to do it. And he made the right statements to people to get people to back him enough. He was not chosen to be an elected president, and they did not expect him to win.
He exposed people for their true weaknesses, not their fake and implied ones. See, every candidate knows their strengths and knows their opportunities. You don't know their lies. You don't know how they were bought. You don't know their voting record doesn't get talked about. They use these subtle little bait tactics, these talking points, like a resume, to say, "Oh, well, you voted for this bill at this," but no, you took money from a foreign entity to sell out your constituents. You are absolutely ineligible and need to be investigated not only by the FEC, but the IRS, the Department of Defense, and the Department of Justice, because you are a conspirator and in violation of the Hatch Act. That's the type of level that is needed here. It's no longer about, well, you didn't vote for not eating kittens, or you slept with Willie Brown, or Hunter Biden has a crack problem and can't stop fucking every woman in sight. No, none of that matters. You are in violation of U.S. Code .164736, and you are going to be arrested. It's time for you to go to prison, and every single one of them. But the problem is they all have dirt on each other. They're all guilty of the same crimes, and nothing will ever get done. It's two opposing forces. You've heard me say it, facing each other. And physics will tell us that two opposing masses that has no denigration of force between the two of them ultimately will never cease their path until you have a third force that pushes them from the middle or the side or in another way to break them apart. That is the only way. We must have a third something come in and stop these two parties from stagnation and literally just handing us every single 4 years. It's ridiculous. And the American people, how stupid can you be? How stupid. It's not just one side or the other. This goes for Democrats too. When your candidate gets in, the same shit's going to happen. Look what they are doing to Joe Biden. If I was Joe Biden, you know what I'd say? Fuck all y'all. I would go to Delaware and I would George Bush them. George Bush, you know what he's saying? Fuck you people. Come out and endorse Kamala. And you know what George Bush is saying? Go fuck yourself. I'm not coming out of the limelight. I'm staying hidden because I'm not going to get whacked. I already went to bat with my daddy's friends. I'm never, ever coming back. It's dangerous, man. This ain't no joke. I don't know. Maybe I'm just pissed tonight. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Inform Me Show. Now we got a shit ton of viewers. It's amazing when I get fired up. Everyone says not to cuss, but I'll tell you what, there are times when I need to just vent. And I'm just sick to death. I don't know where this country is. I love my country. I love this place. I love America. I have seen the world. I'm not one of those people that sit here and pretend that I've seen the world. I've seen the world. I've been to 26 different countries. I've been on the boat as communist frickin' China took over Hong Kong. I've seen what happened in Laos. I saw what happened in South America. I was there. We are the greatest country in the world, and we are letting it slip by, and we are going to go by the way of the Greeks. We're going to go by the way of the Romans, and we are allowing democracy to take over this republic, and it's all about lawlessness and mob rule, and it is dangerous, and it is killing this country one by one. Amy, your last minute, and then I'm going to shut up. Go ahead.
Totally agree. I think America is the greatest country ever to exist, ever. There's a lot of concerns, and it's funny because Jason and I actually had lunch out this weekend, which we never do. I'll keep this a short story. And we ran into this gentleman by happenstance. He was adopted by a family here in the U.S., so he was not from here, connected with, I guess, his family from where he was originally from, which is in Norway. And so he goes there frequently now. And we're just talking about the differences between Norway and the United States and how he's so grateful to be here and that he was adopted to be here. But he says, the way things are, he's actually looking to move back to Norway because of the politics here. Some of the craziness. I mean, we're close to DC, so we see a lot of it here. And I just thought it was very interesting. So he taught me a lot, but I was like, America is the greatest country. I still stand by that. I think we are the greatest country. I hope we are still standing and we continue to be the greatest country and the most powerful country. And I don't know. I just hope that as cliche as some of you might feel, I do hope that God is helping to pull the good out in our world and that we will keep going on. I'm not ready for this to be done.
The last, I have to. Richard Pryor, I talked about it, how he came out on stage probably with a little too much cocaine in his system, and he looked out at the crowd and he said, his opening monologue, "What have you done with my son? Where's Jesus? Can you grab Jesus for me and bring him to me?" And then everybody was like, "What the Richard Pryor talking about how much drugs have you done?" I forgot the last part of the saying, which was so important. And then he goes, "Well, what did you do with my disciples? Where are my disciples? What did you do with them? What did you do with John F. Kennedy? Where's Abraham Lincoln? Can someone tell me what you guys did with Martin Luther King? Where are the people who I gave you to heal and to move your countries and forward and this world forward? Where are my people?" And then at the end, after people started answering, "Well, they're dead," or whatever, and we're crying, and people were emotional in the audience, the line I left out is he just simply looked at everybody, and he had his mic, and he had it in his hand, and he said, "I'm done with you. You're all on your own." And set the mic down and turned around and walked out. I think God is sitting this one out.
I don't think so.
Well, then you know what? Any day would be nice.
Well, gosh, I know that you've read the Bible, so I just would call you to read it again with an open heart, and to go, and even just to bring up the Bible to our previous conversation. God granted us to be able to eat animals after Noah, like after the flood. He was like, "Yeah, you guys can eat whatever you want, animals, whatever, eat everything." So, I do believe that God is good. I
believe that. I didn't say he wasn't good.
No,
I didn't
I'm
say
not
he wasn't
saying.
good.
I never said that you did. I never said that you didn't say that. I'm just saying I believe that God is good. I do not understand why, because I'm not God. I can't think like God. I don't understand why he doesn't intervene. But there's plenty of times in the Bible that he allows Satan to torment people, to wreak havoc. There's plenty of times where he's like, "Okay, you can have this one, Satan. We'll test these people to see if they're gonna stay by me and still show the glory and love to me, or if they're gonna fall to your ways." There's plenty of times, and God's time is not our time. I don't know.
Well, my
I
point,
hate to feel like this, but
no, this, you bring balance to the force, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying God has forsaken us, but there are times in the Bible that you specifically said, and it talks about God's absence, and it talks about, I mean, this could be the test that this is the 1,000 years on earth. We could be the ones that unfortunately have not received his grace and are not with the Heavenly Father. And this is our test. I'm not giving up. I'm telling you that I haven't begun to fight. I'm just telling you that if we're waiting for God to solve this problem, I don't know if he's going to be involved in this fight. That's all I'm saying. And I just want us to understand that this one might be on us. And he may come at our darkest hour, and he may come down and help and save and give us the things that we all anticipate and need. But as of right now, I have never felt more fear about where we are as a people, and I'm looking for that inner peace and calm, and it's really hard for me to get to. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
100%. I totally agree with you. Somebody said Job. It's like the book of Job. Like, yes, that is so exactly, like literally exactly it. Satan tested him. God allowed Satan to test him because Job was so faithful. And he was like, "Yeah, let's see where it's going to land."
Yeah. And some people say that we don't live in Satan's world. I
totally do.
I'm totally in disagreement with you. How is this not? Tell me, where's purity? Where's sanctity? Where's omnipotence? Where's eternal? I'm telling you right now, we are surrounded by sin. We are seeing the moral decay of this world. And there are a very few people who are holding on to the belief of goodness. I'm sorry. I don't. I watched the 700 Club. I watched Jerry. I watched them steal money. Tammy Faye and Jim Baker. I convinced my parents to give them money, and they lied and they stole. And I told my mom and dad, please, can I give $10? Please, please, please. $10 back then. Do you know how much money that was? I'm not blaming God for this. What I'm saying is that godlessness is here. And it's in front of us. And if you can't see the parallels between Sodom and Gomorrah and the pillars of salt and the judgment, oh my God, what is it going to take for you to see? His reckoning will be righteous. But without that reckoning, it seems righteousness is not here. Come on, people, wake the fuck up. This is our test. Okay, let's start taking that test. Let's start putting the numbers down on paper and let's start working the problem. But right now we have to figure out, it's not about black, it's not about white, it's not about poor, it's not about rich, it's about good and evil. And that is it. My God, if I'm preaching, there's a problem.
That's concerning. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
So true. Olivia.
No, I love it. I love it.
I just listen. I am a sinner. I'm a mortal man, and I have emotional tirades just like everybody. Tonight is my night just to let it out because I feel good for the first time. And I just told Amy and Leeroy, in like a year, I feel amazing. I feel inspired, and for some reason, this is the talk tonight. I don't know why, but this is what I wanted to talk about. I hope you found it at least interesting. Thank you for watching the Donut Friendly Show. Thank you for those who donated. You have helped. We need that every night. We appreciate you doing it. Olivia, anything you want to say goodbye?
Thank you for donating. Really appreciate it.
We're going to let her get some sleep. Amy, I love you. Thanks for pushing back on me. Thanks for keeping me within the rails.
Thanks. I read a comment by Diane, so I'm like, thanks, Diane. No, thank you, Amy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I need to go. I'm out of it.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow with a new show. Remember, debate. We're on at 7 o'clock and on all day. There will not be a new show. I will do the news in the morning, but we're on for 4 to 5 hours tomorrow night. Amy's going to be here. Olivia's going to try to be here. If she's not feeling well, I'm not letting her come on. But let's do the debate together. It'll be a good one. Thanks for letting me be human. I spoke from the heart. Whether that's good, bad, or indifferent, it is what it is. Amy, thank you for being my guide stone. I appreciate you and love you.
I love you guys. Love you.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye. Go to Wimkin. Sign up for Wimkin. Here's our Wimkin. Then we do VCL. Then we're out of here. Amy, see you. Bye.
Good night. Love you guys.
Love you too.
David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important, you are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show.
Folks, do me a favor. Get over to Wimkin.com, Wimkin.com. It's right down there in the lower left corner. Left, right. Yeah, left corner. Wimkin is a 100% free speech network. Please do me a favor. Go over there and sign up. Tell Jason I said hello. And it is better than Facebook. And you will always find us there. Thanks for taking care of us. Thanks for donating. We'll see you later.
Adjusting transmitter output.
Joe. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree. We can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.